Hello again and welcome. Hopefully this will be working better now. Just shut this down. There's definitely a little lag, but we'll see.
Am I on?
Not sure. Not sure. Let me just go quickly look here. I need to find the link to the new stream. There it is, live. Yes, he is. Yes, he is now. Still no wait. What?
What? Yes, he is still what?
Hello from Spain. Awesome. Hello, Spain. Awesome. Hey, thanks for joining us there, Canadian Depor. Hope Spain's good. Still no Dulac sound. Yes, he is now. Can hear a bit. Okay.
Just a bit?
Can you hear him now? Sound good to go? Both sounds are good to go? Come on, Turtle Road, don't fail me. Both sounds? Waiting. You should probably talk, Stefan.
Yeah, so they cast someone as Madam Web. It's Dakota Johnson.
Dakota?
Who is she? She was in the 50 Shades of Grey movies.
Oh yeah?
Isn't Madam Web old?
Yes. Well, yeah, she's like Aunt May old.
Maybe it was like a joke.
Or maybe it was her when she was younger.
I didn't read the article. Oh, maybe.
Young Madam Web. She was young and free back in the old days. All right. Good. So we're good. We're good to go. Let's go. All right. Yeah. Finally.
So, yeah, it's late. I'm going to go to bed.
Jesus. All right. So, part deux.
Part deux.
Part deux. So, hello and welcome to the stream. This is Ginger Below, the show in which I am sent to the basement because my wife wants to have time to herself, and the only way to entertain myself is by entertaining all of you. My guest tonight, Mr. Dulac, once again, movie aficionado.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, and if you want to follow Mr. Dulac on Letterboxd, a site in which you can go and rate movies, you can review movies, you can keep tabs of what movies you've watched, which is really cool. You can give them star ratings. Mr. Dulac is there, letterboxd.com/Mr_Dulac. The link is down in the description of this video.
Holy shit. I think someone's looking for a sponsor.
So, yeah, really, eh?
That was a great sales pitch.
Letterboxd, please send sponsorship. Super chat from Canadian Depor. Thanks for the dollar, my friend. It'll buy more coffee. Coffee's always good. Born in Calgary, living in Spain since '97. Holy shit, huh? Wow. That's pretty neat.
Must have been lockdown because I'm sure there's better stuff to do in Spain than watch your goofy ass on the internet.
No, there is nothing better to do in Spain than to watch my goofy ass on the internet. I'd love to go to Spain, actually. Spain.
At this point, I would love to go anywhere.
Yeah, really, huh? I want to go to a movie
outside
theater.
of my house.
Eternal Rogue with Chuck Liddell again. Yes. The landing strip is there. Metalbite Media says Spain lockdown. Hey, Metalbite, by the way, thank you for the super chat last week. We got our coffees, as you had.
I finished mine already.
He finished just during the technical difficulties. He finished his.
To keep me sane.
It's 12:30 a.m. Holy shit. Wow, eh? What time is it here? 7:30 here. No, we're not in lockdown. Oh, cool. That's neat. I would actually.
That's neat.
Well, it is neat actually. I would like to go. You know, on those what are those the boats in Spain? The gondolas?
The gondolas?
Gondolas.
Yeah.
I like to go on the gondola. Go down the river between the buildings.
I'd like to go on the
I
gondola.
want to go on the gondola. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's like my whole goal in life is to go on the gondola.
Yeah, since you were a little kid, that's
That's
been
it.
your dream.
That's it. Some people wanted to be astronauts.
You just have never talked about it for 40 years now, but
No, well,
that's been your dream.
because I knew you guys would mock me.
No, we're gonna mock you no matter
The
what.
minute I talked about the gondola, you'd be all like, "Oh, gondola's stupid, Kevin. You'll never go on a gondola." So I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna talk about it." All right, I'm just trying to finish one quick thing here.
Hurry the fuck up.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this thing.
What are you doing? Trying to delete that
Yes.
first part so no one sees how much you fucked up?
Yes. Yes. Remove from live streams. There you go. Goodbye. Fuck up. All right.
All right, they live.
They live. They live. So we're gonna have to go through a few things that I talked about earlier about They Live, but I'll make it quick. And I won't make that mistake again. So Roddy Piper was in 2 movies in 1988. In January, he was in Hell Comes to Frogtown. And then later on that year in November, although it was supposed to be October, but they pushed the movie ahead because they didn't want to compete against Halloween 4, John Carpenter's They Live. John Carpenter met Hot Rod at WrestleMania 3 and enjoyed him and said, "That's the guy I want to cast because he looks like he lived a life." His words, not mine. So,
Well, he actually did live the life of the character that he plays, basically.
he did. I will admit that.
So when I first watched this movie, it was because of Roddy Piper, because I was too young to know who John Carpenter was. So even if Roddy Piper hadn't been in it, I know I would have watched this like eventually because of John Carpenter. But originally, when I was a kid, I watched this because Roddy Piper was in it.
Yes, well, exactly. And it's weird because
And I had no fucking idea what I was watching. Like, holy shit, what's going on?
it's a movie, and I mean we're gonna get really into it. But when it first came out, it wasn't. It had like from what I read, it had an okay initial, like really early on run, and then it just really went into like obscurity, and it didn't do well after that, and nobody cared about it.
Yeah, like I think it was like #1 at the box office for its opening weekend,
exactly.
and then disappeared quick.
And then it had a second life, like cult classic now, right? So people found it eventually, and I think what we'll get into after is because all the social nuances of this movie are insane. So, and it rings true. It has aged very well. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Like especially in today's political climate. So you originally watched it because of Roddy Piper. I originally watched it because of Roddy Piper. So he did do his role, I guess. He got people to watch the movie.
I vaguely remember. I don't think I rented it. I think I was a kid and watched it like late at night on one of those movie channels, I think.
TNN. Channel 27 on the hot box. Memere
I
next door.
think so. That's how I remember it anyways.
Yes.
And like I was a big fan of Roddy Piper when I was a kid. And what's funny is this reminded me a lot of like when we were kids, we didn't have the internet.
No.
So a lot of stories we heard about wrestlers were just people telling us what they've heard. And I remember as a kid, my dad telling me later on I found out he was a little off the mark, but he had heard Roddy Piper was obviously not really from Scotland. That's a shock. But that he was I remember my dad telling me that he heard that Roddy Piper was from Nova Scotia, and that at one time he was a bouncer in clubs in Moncton. And I was like, holy shit, really? And you couldn't check stuff like that.
No,
back then.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Later on, though, on the internet, I was able to find out that there's little grains of truth in there. So, like, Piper was born in like Saskatchewan, I think.
Yeah, somewhere's in the West. I know that.
And
Pretty close.
he left home when he was 13 years old, and he ended up around here. I've never been able to confirm if he actually worked as a bouncer in Moncton, but I was able to confirm he lived in Moncton. He said so himself, that he was telling a story, and he said, "Yeah, I used to live in Moncton. I was 16 years old, living in a trailer, trying to survive winter."
Wow.
So that would be around 1970. So imagine Roddy Piper lived in Moncton alone as a teenager in a trailer, and 15 years later, he was headlining the first WrestleMania with Hogan and Mr. T.
Crazy. We made him basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from this.
So he was a teenager living on his own in a trailer in Moncton. What the fuck have we done with our lives?
It's true though, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unreal. It's crazy. And like you said, like basically in every huge rumor, there's a bit of truth.
Yeah. So the thing that he was from Nova Scotia, he probably did live in Nova Scotia for a little bit, I'm
Yeah.
sure, because he started wrestling around here.
And he's from Scotland, so
Yeah, and he's from Scotland.
he wouldn't live in Nova Scotia. He probably founded
What
it.
What's funny is I rewatched They Live, edited in with Monster Vision clips of when they aired They Live, and they interview Roddy Piper,
Yes, yes. Like I
and it
have that
and it
episode actually. I want to
and it
watch it.
aired around '98, and it was that weird time where wrestlers, they admitted wrestling was fake, but at the same time they tried to keep their character even when they were away from the ring. And there's a point where Joe Bob asks him, "You're from Canada, right?" And Piper says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! From the English Empire." What the fuck are you talking about?
So we know. So,
English Empire.
Jesus. So, yeah. So kayfabe. So he's living the kayfabe at one sense, and then not living it in the other. I guess. Well, you lived your gimmick back then, right? Well, I guess not in the '90s.
Well, he was old school, so he was,
Yeah.
he was probably having a hard time transitioning from where you actually admit you're not the character you've been playing on TV your entire life.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, for sure. Oh, Canadian Deepwater says, guys, I need to work tomorrow, so good to catch you live. I'll watch the video replay tomorrow. Thanks, dude. Have a good night. Enjoy the gondolas. I'll talk to you soon.
One story I read too, and it's too typical from what we've heard not to be true, is that when Carpenter offered Piper They Live, Vince McMahon told him not to take it, that he would find Piper another movie to be in. So Piper quit the WWE. So supposedly that's the reason he actually left the WWE completely for a bit.
Hmm. Good for
And
him.
that sounds like a story that would, it sounds like a true story
Yes,
from what we've
yeah,
heard.
because we know Vince did that.
Yeah.
He did that with Hogan too.
Hmm.
So it wouldn't be. I mean, he let go his own son yesterday, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's what I heard.
oh, you know. By the way,
So
Shane McMahon's all
fucking
elite now. See him show up.
So Roddy Piper has to be the first pro wrestler to star in a movie that, even if the movie was only #1 at the box office for a weekend, he must still be the first wrestler to pull that off. Like the actual star, he's the lead of the movie.
Yeah, because I don't think No Holds Barred was first.
No.
Although I still love Zeus, I don't care. I'll say it at the end.
Was No Holds Barred #1? Oh, never mind. That's for another time.
Shoot. So They Live. Like I said, it's today. It's in the climate we're in. It definitely it has aged very well. Um, so I when I watched it again, I watching it in HD, which is always great because I don't know, enjoy watching clear movies, which is good. No more grains, which is nice. Um, Interesting thing too, the his co-star in the movie. Oh, what's his name again?
Keith David?
Yeah, Keith David. He's
Yeah.
in The Thing, right?
Hmm.
Which is
He plays Childs in the thing.
yeah, which is a huge like probably John Carpenter's biggest movie.
Well, depends on if you're talking box office, it's one of his bigger disappointments.
No, but I
But
mean
when you cult
cult
status, it's
status.
one of his biggest. Like They Live, it's like his last '80s movie. But from 1980 1988, like in those 9 years, he released 8 movies, and every single one of them became a cult classic.
Crazy.
It's insane the streak of movies he made.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, he's definitely he's like he's at the top.
Yeah, and but his career though, like a lot of his best movies didn't make it. Like The Thing bombed at the box office, and I think Big Trouble in Little China bombed at the box office too. So after that, he had a hard time getting gigs after that. Like, you remember Firestarter?
Yes.
He was originally supposed to direct Firestarter, and Universal took him off the movie when The Thing bombed at the theater.
Unreal. And then you look at the thing now, like it's still a merchandising juggernaut to this day. Like action
Yeah,
figures, like NECA, like the toys, like they're still coming out. Even They Live, NECA's releasing toys all the time. Like,
and what's funny is all those studios that didn't want to give him work after because his few movies bombed, all those studios now today are trying to remake all those movies.
yes. Well, we'll get into the whole sequel thing a little
Yeah.
later on, but so all right. So Piper in this movie has no shirt, which is good. Which is good. We'll all agree. Um, all right. So the movie, for those of you who haven't seen it, little spoilers here. It's basically about Roddy Piper, who's a drifter, which is just weird. Yet he wears a wedding ring, so never really get what his backstory is. I don't even think they even name him in the movie, right?
No, he's just credited as
As
Nada.
Nada, exactly,
Yeah.
and then they credited him as John Nada in the folklore universe.
Oh,
Yeah, because
really?
he actually, I'm pretty sure the figure that came out of him from the WWE Legends line for They Live is John Nada.
Oh, okay.
I mean
I know the
John
story
Doe,
behind
right?
the
John Nada, John Nothing. So,
I know the story behind the wedding
oh
ring.
yeah, please
Yeah.
share.
It's it's pretty simple. Basically, Roddy Piper was resistant to ever take off his wedding ring. The wedding ring he's wearing in the movie is his real
Oh
wedding ring.
wow, oh good for him.
So whenever it was okay, he just kept it on, and I guess sometimes he would fight for it. I think he said that the only time he wouldn't fight to keep it on is if he was playing a despicable character or something like that. But if he was playing a good guy, he always wanted to have his wedding ring on.
They could have CG'd it on like a mustache. Yeah, could have done. They
Yeah.
could have done that. So okay, so the movie's about him as a drifter. He comes into the city looking for work, meets up uh, with his friend character, his buddy. What's his name again? Oh my God, I'm already forgetting.
Keith David.
Keith David. My God. Okay,
Yep.
he meets up with Keith David. They Keith kind of takes him under his wing, brings him to his like, what do we call it? Like an encampment? Like
Yeah, like a tent
it's
town.
like a tent town. So he
Yeah.
goes there, and then he notices just weird stuff happening in the church in the tent town. And there's these broadcasts going over the TV that intermittently will interfere with the normal programming, saying that you're all being duped, you're all being used, you're cattle, you're this, you're that, basically insinuating that there is a grander scheme, a greater force against you, holding you down. And so when he goes into the church, he discovers that there is a resistance against this unseen terror that are creating sunglasses. And because, I mean, that's what people did in the 80s, right? You were either in a sunglass gimmick or especially blue blockers, right? Or you're doing something else. But so they're creating sunglasses. If you put the glasses on, you will see the world for what it really is. So basically, because of this broadcast that's going all around the airways, people are blind to what's really going on. They only see they see everything in pretty colors. When you put the glasses on, you see what's really going on, which is basically alien oppressors that have taken over human form and are basically pushing us and keeping us down in order to cater and to live off of our work and our existence. So you put on the glasses, a normal poster, you look at it, you see the words obey on it. That whole obey thing has become huge
Yeah.
over the years. Like political statements, you'll see the posters, you'll see a picture like a Barack Obama, and you'll see like obey underneath. Like these types of things, like those like the word obey is like it's massive, and it's because of that movie. Like they started
Mm.
that. So there's all different slogans. My personal favorite slogan is the one that's on the money. I don't know if you remember what it says. So when the guy at
Is
the
it "This is your God"?
exactly at the kiosk has the money and he's selling magazines, and then he puts on a Roddy Piper puts on the glasses, looks at the money. It's just a blank piece of paper that says "This is your God." And
Yep.
to me, that was one of the most powerful moments of the entire movie because we worship money and we will turn a
Hmm.
blind eye to anything else that's around us for the worship of money.
And it came out in '88 at the height of consumerism and Reaganomics, and
Exactly. And if you think about it, like it's worse now than it was then.
yeah, but now it's more. I was gonna say people are more aware of it, but certain people are more aware of
Yes.
it, and certain people are more aware of how stupid other people are.
Well, I would have to say that some people are more aware of it even because of this movie.
Yeah,
Because they're using the same slogans, right? From the
yeah.
movie in order to like consume, reproduce, like all those things, right? So take the next part of the movie over, please, if you wish. I'm gonna drink some coffee.
The next part when so Piper, what I like about the movie too, though, is at the beginning of the movie, I didn't remember this until I rewatched it again this year, is that at the beginning of the movie, Piper's character, I think Frank David, Keith David's character, he's more pessimistic. And at the like right at the beginning of the movie, before Piper's character has seen anything weird, he says, "No, no, he believes in the American dream."
Yes. Well, he believes in working
Like
for his
he,
family, right? Like
yeah,
he's
he's like, "No, no, if you work hard and it all pays off before, and then everything unravels, and he becomes even more pessimistic." But after that, when Piper puts on the glasses and sees everything, and he walks around, and you get some great lines, which you get some great lines, and I think John Carpenter has admitted that a lot of Piper's lines in the movie actually came from Piper.
nice. I can see
He
him
had,
ad libbing those lines.
he had talked about how Piper had a little notebook, and whenever Piper thought of a good line, he would write it down in it for future reference, like for a wrestling promo.
Oh, okay.
But he brought that book with him. Like he credited Piper with the famous line now when he goes into the bank. He says, "I've come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum."
No more bubblicious. Which is probably the most remembered line from the entire film.
Yeah. And then I think, what does he say when he sees the woman for the first? He sees
Oh
a
yeah,
woman for the first time, and
old hag
he
there
says,
from
"You look like you fell face first." Oh, I don't remember. But anyways, I'm sure most of those lines are his. And then so now he knows something is weird is going on, and he wants other people to know. Actually, I think he kidnaps Meg Foster's character first, right? Before he tries to convince Keith David.
yes.
And Meg Foster, she's been in a lot of like genre movies like this. This is probably her most famous movie. After this is probably playing Evil Lynn in Masters of the Universe.
Oh, the good movie. Kevin
Yeah,
and the
she's been in a
Cosmic
lot
Key.
in a lot of good movies. So he kidnaps her, goes to hide out in her apartment, and she ends up pushing him out a plate glass window, and he falls down a hill.
Yes. Well, you know what's cool about like okay, so we're not going to spoil too much of it till we get to the end. But so her character, when he comes in and he gets her sunglasses, see she's normal. She's not one of the
Yeah.
aliens, so he's okay. I can kind of trust her. Basically, drives him. They go into a very affluent neighborhood, a beautiful neighborhood where she lives.
Mm-hmm.
Goes in there. He says basically, put on the glasses. You can see she answers exactly what you would answer to a crazy person telling you to put on glasses.
Yeah.
And she really tries to talk him down, almost like she's a psychiatrist. Saying basically, I'll put them on, I'll see whatever you want me to see. Basically meaning, I'm not going to tell you if I see any, what I mean? I'm not going to entertain it not being anything that because I don't want you to kill me, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say whatever you want me to say. And that's probably why he backs off on her from actually putting on the glasses. The interesting part about her, though, if you follow the logic, she lives in the affluent part of the city. She claims that the TV station is not part of the conspiracy.
Yep.
And there was another thing that she does when she shows up to the meeting and all that, and because she tells him that she's at the station. He says, "Oh, well, that's probably where they're," and then she hits him with the bottle and throws him out the pane glass window, rolls down that hill. And then she tells him when they go back to that other meeting later on where they're planning on doing that big attack, and then she says, "No, it's not at that TV station where this is all taking place." So if you follow the trail of breadcrumbs, you can kind of see where the movie's going with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue, please.
But what's nice about that too is the way it's structured is when you're getting some of the hints. Good night.
You can't see you? You'll see you here. Look, you're delayed. You're in the future. Watch. There you are. Look at you. Isn't that cool? It's like you have a DeLorean. All right. Have a good night. Say good night to your sister for me.
What I was saying was when you first get the clues about her, you don't know yet that some humans are.
Okay. You just want to see. Go to bed. Ooh. Have a good night.
When you get the early clues about her, you don't know some humans are helping them.
Yes.
Or working with them, so you're not even looking for clues at that point. And then when you rewatch it, it's like, oh shit, she lives in a nice neighborhood.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like when you pick up on that stuff after you see the twist, I guess.
Yeah. So after that, Nada goes to look for more sunglasses, and he finds them. And then he goes to look for his buddy Frank, and his buddy Frank knows that Nada just killed a couple of cops, and he thinks he's crazy. And then you get one of the most epic fights ever committed to film.
It's true. It is considered the greatest fight on film.
And there's no martial arts. It's just them beating the shit out of each other, and Roddy Piper trying to get Frank to put on the glasses. And I don't know how many times he says, put on the glasses, and he just won't. And they just beat the shit out of each other in a back alley. And that's so famous, South Park parodied it.
Yes, they did. And
almost shot for shot.
Exactly, perfectly. Actually, there's a video on YouTube you can watch, and they have the two of them showing off on side to side, which is amazing.
Yeah, and then when Frank finally puts on the glasses, and then he's freaked out because he sees what's going on, and then you get that great shot of them walking into that dump of a motel.
Yeah, the motel.
And both of them are just the shit beaten out of them, wearing the sunglasses, and they're like, "We'll take a room."
Yeah. And they take a room together.
Yeah.
They're going to continue the fighting at the motel. But yeah, no, that fight's amazing. And just when you think it's done, it's not done.
I know, it goes on forever.
I think it's 10 or 12 minutes long.
Maybe, yeah.
Which I know if you think, well, that's not long. Well, picture a movie that's 90 minutes, and 15 minutes of that movie is a fight.
Yeah.
So, that's a pretty long fight.
So, talking about Piper doing a lot of his dialogue, and Keith David's character, his name in the credits, in the movie, is called Frank, and in the credits, his full name is Frank Armitage. And when you watch the movie, the credits for who wrote the movie says Frank Armitage,
Ah,
who
cool.
is not a who is not a real person. So I think the story is, so John Carpenter wrote the movie, but he thought he didn't like taking full credit for writing the movie because a lot of like Piper contributed a lot of his own dialogue. I think other people contributed, but you don't get to decide who gets. It's the Screen Actors Guild that gets to decide who gets writing
Okay.
credit on a movie. So he can't just put like written by John Carpenter and Roddy
Yeah.
Piper. So instead of just so either he had to take the choice of taking full credit, but he decided to use that fake name instead, just to represent everyone that contributed to the script of the movie.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely yeah.
And it's funny watching the movie. You see written by Frank Armitage, and then Keith David shows up, and his name
Frank
is Frank
Armitage.
Armitage in the movie.
Nice. So the next part of the story is when they go to the where the rebellion basically is building, for lack of a better word.
Yeah,
Um, and the technology has changed. They're no longer going to be using glasses anymore because and it gives it's a lot of when you use a glasses, there's a lot of interference in your head. You get headaches and all that. It's because they're broadcasting a signal, and it's trying to basically block the signal. So there's side
yeah,
effects to that. So they put on they give them contact lenses, which
yeah.
reduces the noise. Um,
And then the actors don't have to wear
and then
sunglasses for
the
the rest of the
actors don't
movie.
have to wear sunglasses for the rest of the movie, which is cool. Because I mean, their sunglasses were rated anyways, and the box that was left was crushed inside of a dump truck,
Right?
minus like two pairs, I think. So yeah, so they get the and then they're raided by the police and all that, and then that's where the whole beginning of the end of the movie starts. The whole climax to get to the get to the TV station in order to stop the transmission. And so when they go there, well, when they're heading there, anyways, they one of the watches basically on the aliens wear watches, and the watches basically enables them to contact, or like two-way radios. Also, it enables them to kind of like teleport. Is that what we're gonna call this?
Make a portal in the on the
Yes,
ground.
and they fall through the portal, so it looks like they disappear when they kind of do, I guess. But they go underground into this labyrinth of, uh, I guess, where they do all their dirty stuff. Is that
I guess. Like, I mean, it's a low budget movie,
yes,
but it's a fucking great low budget
yes.
movie.
So they fall down there. They go to there's a big banquet going down there, and the banquet basically is held by all these rich people, and the rich people are like, you know, we're everybody's wealth is up 39% this year, all because of you. So a lot of humans have sold out to the aliens.
Yeah.
So the humans
And
that
Mark Zuckerberg gives a little speech.
exactly Zuckerberg gives a speech, a few reptilians, and then these aliens. So so basically the way it works is that the aliens are in control, so they're like government, and then some of the aliens are like law enforcement, and anybody who helps them out, who can be bought, is kind of like their cronies.
Yeah.
So they all have good jobs, they're all well positioned. They're not the middle class. The movie's basically about aliens or the government keeping the middle class down.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Like that's the social message, but it's done like in a sci-fi way, and that's why it's relevant today. Well, it's relevant all through time, I guess. But so they go to the banquet, and then they meet up with an old friend from the encampment,
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
the guy who was arguing about when the transmissions were coming in to try to block the signals. So he sold out. He finally decided, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm not gonna live in a fucking cardboard box anymore. I'm gonna sip champagne, caviar. I'll sell my soul to the fucking aliens, and that's what he did. So he's with the aliens now, but he doesn't know that uh, those two people didn't sell out because they
No, he
used the
thinks
watch.
thinks Frank and Nada joined.
Exactly. They think that Frank and Nada are joined up with the aliens, but they haven't. They just used the watch and teleported there. So he's like, "Come on, boys, I'm going to show you around here and show you what's going on." So basically, he's going to give them the grand tour of this place so that we as viewers can understand what the fuck are they up to.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to pick it up for the tour, give us a tour.
And so, are they in the same place as the TV station? I think so, right?
They
When they go up the
are.
levels?
Yeah, they're. Yes, they are.
Yeah, because when he's
Yes.
giving him the tour, they come to where they're broadcasting news.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, and this is where we can talk about, so they're broadcast, so he gives them the tour, and you see a news desk, and they're doing the news, and then Nod and Frank are right. Okay, fuck it. They just start killing people.
Yes.
Well, killing aliens.
Yes.
So, and then after they start killing aliens, then the aliens are after them. But what's funny about this part is that the aliens have walkie-talkies.
Holy fuck, I
And
totally
the
forgot about that, but I wanted to
walkie-talkies-
mention it, though. I'm glad you remembered.
And the walkie-talkies are actually the prompts from it's the PKE meters from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
It's the actual prop from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
And they're just talking in them.
They're using the PK meters as walkie-talkies, which I found fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like it's sticking out, like it's like talking into it.
It's like, what's going on? He detected a ghost. What's
And in
going
my head,
on?
I'm like, they're not even trying to hide it. Like,
And I think
maybe they have ectoplasm on them.
I have remember seeing that seeing the PKE meters in one other movie.
It is in another movie.
I forget which one it
It's
is.
in. Oh my god! It's on a. James would know this.
Yeah.
It's on a table somewhere, as I remember. It's on a like in a kind of like a garage type setting where they have like a table, all kinds of like tools and stuff. And I'm pretty sure it's there. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm thinking of something
think so.
else. I know it's in another movie for sure. If anybody knows the movie, you can throw it out on the chat. But yeah.
Oh, before we go too far, when they were at to back up a little bit, when they were at with all the resistance at their base.
Yep.
I think there's like a blonde guy that says something, and I don't know if he must be credited in the movie. He just says one line.
Okay.
He's not really a character in the
Yes,
movie.
he's the guy that basically says, we want to fight.
And he has like a mullet.
Yep.
He's blonde. That's fucking Tommy Morrison, the guy in Rocky V, Tommy the Machine Gun, the young boxer that Rocky trains in Rocky V. I think he's only in like 2 movies or 3 movies at the most.
Nice.
And this was his first movie.
Eternal Rogue has the answer. The PKA meter shows up in Ghostbusters Afterlife. You're welcome.
Jesus Christ.
He's not wrong. But that's not it. Why am I thinking it was a Bruce Campbell movie?
It shows up in Evil Dead.
Yes. Probably. Fucking a third one, who knows?
So we're just spoiling the movie, right?
Yeah.
So once they realize they're in the station building, Nada's like, he's looking for, what was her name? I forget it.
It was...
The actress name is Meg Foster. I forget what her name was in the movie. But
yeah, her name was something like Floral.
Yeah.
Holly Thompson, not even Floral.
Holly, right. Where's Holly?
Yeah, Holly. Holly's floral because it's a Christmas thing. Plant.
I just remember Piper grabbing a pregnant woman that's holding a coffee pot, asking, "Where's Holly?" And she's like, "I don't know. Yeah. Stop." And he finds her, and he never clues in that she's working at the TV station where the fucking aliens are.
Exactly. And said earlier, there's nothing going on there.
But if you're watching the movie, I don't think I clued in the first time. Then again, I was just a dumb kid.
Threw the bastard out of a window. That wasn't enough. Yeah. So yeah. So he tries to save her.
Yeah. So they go to the roof to stop the broadcast, and Frank and Holly are behind him. And all of a sudden, you see Holly pull out a gun and put it to Frank's head. And then you see Piper, but you just hear the gunshot. Yeah. So she killed Frank. And then she goes upstairs, and I think Nada turns around and he said, "Frank and Holly, are you clear?" And Holly says, "I'm clear." And she turns around and he sees Holly pointing a gun at him, and I think he shoots her, right?
Yes, he does. He
And then he
he puts
turns
down the
around and
gun, and then he has
yeah,
another gun in his sleeve,
right,
which is
that's
weird.
right. And then he shoots the transmitter, and then there's a helicopter that shoots him, and then it ends.
Well, no.
Nada's dead.
Yeah, but there's a few more scenes after that.
But then the transmitter's gone, so everyone starts seeing the aliens for who the aliens are, and you get a bunch of clips that are pretty funny.
Yeah.
You get a clip that was, now I remember, yes, I was young when I watched this, because the last scene, I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Movies!
So you see like people are watching like TV, you see like an alien in a commercial, on a news broadcast, and then you see a woman having sex with a guy, and she sees the commercial with the alien, and she's like, that's weird, and then she screams, and then you look down and she's having sex with an alien, and the alien's like, what's wrong, baby?
That's like the
And that's how the
last
movie
scene
ends.
of the movie. Yeah.
That's the last scene of the movie. What's wrong, baby?
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I enjoy. Well, I think I enjoyed about that part there. Okay, so there's a transition, right? So they he puts on the glasses, he sees the aliens, black and white. Everything's
Right,
black
you
and
only
white.
see them in black and white.
Exactly. Then he puts on the contacts, still sees them in black and white, but doesn't get the feedback.
Hmm.
When they destroy the satellite, so that everybody can see them, now they see them, but in color.
Right,
Because it's the normal world.
because everyone's seeing it.
Exactly, because everyone's seeing it. So they see them in color. So that's how those scenes at the end are actually the only scenes where these things are in color.
Yep.
Other than that, they're all in black and white. And I found that was actually really like genius to do it that way. Because you could have easily just put them back in black and white, like after the fact. Just
Excuse me if I burped in the mic. I tried to disguise my burp. I'm not sure it worked.
I didn't hear it,
Okay.
but maybe. Steven Badashi
Yeah, because
wrote a Suburban Commando is where it shows up.
yes, that sounds familiar now.
And Eternal Rogue wrote in a second episode of Knight Rider.
That I didn't know.
That's actually possible. Second season episode of Knight Rider. I wonder which one it was. I watched actually a bunch of Knight Rider recently. So this was just for the city. Was the other cities with the same aliens hidden with their own transmitter?
Logically, you would think it was just for the city.
Yeah,
But I don't think they thought that far
I
ahead.
would agree. Well, they say it's going on all over the world.
Yeah.
Like because that guy, the friend that like brings them on the tour in the basement, basically says like, I thought you guys understood. Like, this is everywhere. There is no government now. It's just them. Like they rule the whole planet. Like you either line up, or you're going to be killed. Like or you obey. So which was
It'd be funny. It'd be funny if they tried to make a like the popular term for it now is a legacy sequel to the movie. Instead of just saying, we're making a sequel to a really old movie, they have to say it's a legacy sequel.
why did you say legacy?
I don't know.
So this, I mean, we're gonna actually talk about that right now. I just gotta bring it up because I don't want to
Right this fucking second.
right this second. So there was a sequel planned. There were two. So Carpenter always wanted to have a trilogy for this movie. The sequel was greenlit. Was supposed to be distributed by Amazon. And basically, actually, was supposed to come out last year. I'm assuming the reason why it hasn't come out, if this is true, of course, because it's online, but the site's not. I've heard this a few times. It's probably because of the pandemic. I would assume it's the reason why it wasn't completed. Because the article came out in 2020. But I'll just read an excerpt here and just it's kind of neat what they're planning on doing with it if it's all true. A legendary film maker John Carpenter has announced his long dormant Live, Laugh, and Love trilogy, We'll finally see completion at Amazon Studios, and we can't wait to obey his invitation for a movie date. Set in the world of the beloved 1988 sci-fi romp They Live, sequels They Laugh and They Love are slated for multi-platform release in the second and fourth quarters of next year. So that would have been 2021. Believe it or not, They Live was always my most spiritual film, and these long-awaited sequels will make that clear, the 72-year-old director said in a surprise Instagram live video. Yes, it's about learning to see the ideological distortions underpinning consumerism, but it's also about learning to giggle in the autumn breeze, to smell the moonlight on a midnight beach, to dance like nobody's watching you through your television. Obviously, none of this would be happening without Amazon Studios, Carpenter added. Seriously, like, it's literally impossible for mid-budget artists to tell stories to a mass audience without the involvement of companies like Amazon. Picking up immediately after the '88 film, in which, spoiler, Nada and Frank's hijinks reveal the race of elite alien overlords to humanity, They Laugh and They Love will follow a fresh cast of human characters as they compartmentalize the implications of their servitude and learn to live and grow alongside their extraterrestrial masters. They Laugh will follow Kumail Nanjiani as a milquetoast comedian competing on an alien show for lucrative sponsorship deals. While They Love is planned to center around a plucky career alien's romantic entanglement with two working-class Franco brothers. Andy Serkis slated to play all of the aliens.
Shut up. That sounds fucking
I know.
amazing.
Producers were quick to
I
assure
had never heard of that.
Producers were quick to assure fans that while much has changed, the new films will still feature many familiar elements of They Live brand, including Nada's famous magical sunglasses, archival footage of John Lawrence as Bearded Man, and a 10-minute bravura fight sequence only tangentially related to the plot. Some high-profile celebs have been freaking out about the announcement, including Chris Evans, Miley Cyrus, and Slovenian philosopher and pop culture analyst Slavoj Zizek, who says these are sequels for which I would have sold a witch the left tit of my grandmother. Zizek in an artfully shot black and white Patreon vlog. To live within ideology is, I think, to be enslaved to the fetish of collective false consciousness. But to live, laugh, love, this, I think, reminds me of sandals at the beach and kissing in the rain and so on. They Laugh and They Love will be available for consumption in 2021. No further action is required at this time.
Well, shit, I did not know that. The last thing I had read is Matt Reeves, the guy that directed the new Batman movie that's going to come out.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, he was supposed to direct a remake. The other movies he directed, I think he directed the first Cloverfield.
Okay.
And the two last Planet of the Apes movies.
Mm. Wasn't the first Cloverfield, what's his name?
J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams? No, I think he just produced it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Interesting.
So I'm right just as long as no one looks anything up.
I like the idea, though, of having these... I like the laugh, live, and love.
Yeah.
I like that because, I mean, I would wager that 80% of homes have that sign in it. Live, laugh, love. Has to be. If there's it has to. Probably 80%. It's kind of like back in the day when Hootie and the Blowfish brought out their album, and it was actually a mathematical fact that 1 in 3 houses had that. It had the album.
Really?
Yeah. Which is crazy. So yeah. So it kind of reminds me of that. I think it would work good. I think it would work good in a box set with Live, Love, Live, Love, Laugh.
Yeah.
So as long as the movies are good, I mean,
yeah.
Carpenter's behind. Carpenter's all for it. So
yeah. You need a really smart script. Well, no, you need if they remade it, they would need an extremely smart script.
Metal Bite Media just wrote, I have it. He has that sign.
Yeah, he plays it every
I
day.
believe it. I believe he has the sign. No more remakes needs to end, says Stephen Budd. I agree. You don't need a remake for this. You can go with
No,
sequels. Like those ideas are
I
actually
get.
really good.
Yeah, I guess the remake, like the so They Live was based off a short story written by Ray
Yeah.
Nelson from
Like 6
1963.
in the morning or something like that was called?
8
8
o'clock in
o'clock
the
in the morning.
morning.
Okay.
But what's interesting is like it was written in 1963, but John Carpenter didn't notice the story till it was adapted in a comic book in
Yeah.
'86. And I guess it was just a direct adaptation of the story. And I guess in that story, it's more about just the aliens fooling everyone. There's still social commentary, but it's not. That's not its main focus. And Carpenter, just saw that and was like, okay, I'm gonna make a fucking movie about Reaganomics.
And it's like I said, it works today as well as it
Yeah,
worked. Like it, you could have gone from just the whole industrial revolution until today, and it would work
yeah.
because that's always been there. It's always been a problem. Like it's always like the middle class is always seems to be they're always on the short end of the stick. So, and it's done absolutely masterful, which I love. Stephen writes, Hootie and the Blowfish is the Nickelback of the 90s. Metal Bite Media writes, playing it right now. You and me, we come from different worlds. When I look at my girl, nothing I can do. I look at a girl like you. That's all I remember from the song. Actually, you know what? We're talking about Knight Rider. I want to show this. I got this yesterday in the mail. There's a lot of Knight Rider merch coming out. So, this bad boy. So, there's actually a.
Is that
This is like
a re-release of an old toy?
No, it looks like the old Kenner one, but it's actually
Yeah,
the
it looks like the one I had as a kid.
yeah, it's the reaction one, like from Super 7. But
Oh,
if you
okay.
look closely at it, he has chest hair. It's amazing. He's all furry.
A little more to your
Yeah, I
right
know you can't see it because
and
of the camera.
lower.
Yeah.
I can't see shit.
All right, but he's got chest hair. Believe me, it's all there. He's
Okay.
furry, which I love. Like that's a lot of detail right there. I just wish they would come up with another figure of Garth Knight.
Of what?
Garth. Do you know about Garth?
Garth Knight?
Okay, I'm going to tell you about Garth Knight. We're going to go into overtime here because it's an important. In Knight Rider, okay, Michael Knight doesn't look like David Hasselhoff originally. He looks like another guy. He's in a horrible accident, and then the Knight Foundation basically picks him up and says, you know what? We're going to help him heal. We're going to give him a new face because his face is all messed up. And we're going to make him like a super agent type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the face they give to him is of Knight's kid who is living overseas and is in a jail. And his name is Garth Knight. Garth Knight is basically David Hasselhoff.
I don't remember this
But
from the show.
but with like a goatee pinch, and he is just a womanizer.
He's like in Star Trek from the mirror universe.
Exactly. He is the mirrorverse of David Hasselhoff. But he has a vehicle of his own called Goliath. Goliath is this massive transport truck
I don't remember any of
that's made out of
this.
the same material as Kit. So it's like the arch enemy of Kit. Well, I mean,
So you have like
Kar was
Kit
also
Car and Goliath?
exactly. Kar and Goliath were like the two evil things that actually reappeared in the series like twice because they were
I
so
remember
popular.
Car. I don't remember Goliath at all.
Goliath, look it up right now. Look up Garth Knight. Just look at his face. He wears that white suit, that cane, that pinch. Oh my God, he's amazing. And then David Hasselhoff, like a few years ago, did a video of himself where he puts on like the pinch and like does like he's talking to himself as if he's talking to Garth. It's amazing.
Oh my god.
But Garth Knight. So there's never been a figure of Garth Knight. There's never been a real figure vehicle of Goliath either. I wish they would do both. Trust me, if you watch a Knight Rider episodes, the Goliath is in. Just
I'll have to take a look.
just for him, just for Garth Knight. He could be one of the best villains of the 80s. It's amazing.
I do not remember that at all.
So cool.
Oh,
So cool. All right. I'm going to calm down now.
you're gonna calm down now?
God, I talked about Garth Knight. Metal Bite Media writes, Knight Rider is the Hootie and the Blowfish of 80s TV shows. Strong.
In the 80s, we had a lot of TV shows based around vehicles. You had like Knight Rider, you had Street Hawk, you had Airwolf,
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Is it just? Are we just going shows, or are we going movies too?
I think Highwayman was from the 80s.
Automan,
Automan, what's
the
that?
guy that would turn into a car.
That was a show? I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
actually, I watched because Eternal Road was talking about it, so I downloaded the first. Sorry, I bought the first season on Amazon, and so I watched the first few episodes. And actually, one of the episodes, he's in a bar, and Sid Haig is there, playing a biker. Which is,
Really?
yeah, it's from this like
That's
the
cool.
show's from like the late 70s or early 80s. So basically, it's like a computer-generated guy that comes out of the computer and he turns to all different things. Turns to a car, turns to jet, all this stuff. It's actually a pretty neat show. Kind of like along the same lines like as a Million Dollar Man there.
I thought you were going to say Captain Power.
And I was going to say that too, Captain Power. So along the same lines as that stuff. I guess it's more Captain Power-ish than it is $6 Million Man, but yeah, no, it's interesting. So that's a car one. There should be more.
There probably is.
Yeah, we're just not thinking. I mean, movies I can think of like Smoking a Bandit, Ghostbusters, like those two.
Yeah,
cars.
Ghostbusters was all about the car.
Well, it's an iconic car. It's not all about the car, but it's an iconic car.
So what's your favorite John Carpenter movie?
My favorite is probably They Live.
Oh, really? Well, holy shit.
Yeah, I like the movie and I like the nuance, what it represents at the same time. I like The Thing too, but I think I like this more than The Thing.
Yeah, because you find the thing too scary.
Well, no, okay, well, you know how I feel about like doppelgangers taking over people's bodies. I don't like that. So, like when you're like, ooh, really has an alien inside them type thing. Like I'm not a huge fan of that stuff because it creeps me out mostly. So yeah,
Oh,
so that's probably
poor
why.
Kevin.
That's probably why that I like They Live. Trying to think of other movies he made.
Well, just in the 80s movies. So, like, what's interesting is, like, he made like Assault on Precinct 13, and then when Halloween came out in 78, no one had any fucking idea how impactful
That's
Halloween
right, he did
was gonna
Halloween.
be. Yeah,
Holy
the
shit.
first Halloween.
Fuck, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about that. Yeah. I do like Halloween.
And what's funny is, so he did Halloween, and he had a couple of gigs already set up, and no one thought Halloween was going to be big anyways, right? So he came out with a made-for-TV movie the same year as Halloween, and the year after he came out with an Elvis biopic made for TV starring Kurt Russell as Elvis.
Nice.
And then in 1980, you have like fucking The Fog with Tom Atkins, Jamie Lee Curtis. Year after that, you have fucking Escape from New York, then The Thing, then fucking Christine.
Jesus, fuck, he did a lot of movies.
Then he did. Have you ever watched Starman?
No.
That's a really underrated movie he did. A fucking Jeff Bridges is in it, and he got nominated for an Academy Award.
No.
Like seriously, it's like a love story. It's about so an alien crash
It's like
lands on,
Superman, is it not? Like,
no, so an alien crash lands on planet Earth, and the alien doesn't have a physical body.
okay.
So it's like light, and it goes into this woman's house, and the woman, her husband died a year ago, and so the alien entity is looking for something like DNA to form a body, and I think it's a strand of hair that she has of him. So he forms he creates a body for himself, but it's an exact DNA replica of her husband.
Okay.
So Jeff Bridges is the alien, and the woman is Karen Allen. She was in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Dead Zone, Scrooged. She's like the woman that Bill Murray's in love with in Scrooged.
Oh yeah, like the person working at the TV station there.
Yeah. So the movie's basically like a love story. So they go on the run because the government knows there's an alien there, and then she's like, "Holy shit!" Like my dead husband's back. So she kind of falls for
But
him.
alien.
Yeah.
So it is like a mimic movie. I don't like that.
Yeah. So I guess Carpenter made that movie because of all the bad publicity he got from The Thing. He just wanted to prove like he can make another alien movie completely different. He wanted to prove he still had commercial appeal or something like that. And then I think after that, what did he make? Oh, Big Trouble in Little China. This is all his fucking movies in the 80s. Big Trouble in Little China, fucking Prince of Darkness. Did you ever see Prince of Darkness?
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it got fucking Alice Cooper playing a bum, and the way they prepared him to play the bum is they took his makeup off. And then They Live.
Sounds about right.
He finished the 80s off with They Live. Like, it's crazy.
Nice. Yeah, he had a lot of movies. I didn't realize he had so many.
I think my favorite film is probably The Thing, but the movie I've probably watched the most is the first Halloween because I watch that every year.
Yeah. Well, Halloween's definitely a great movie too.
Yeah.
Like, it set the stage for like a lot of slasher movies.
Yeah. He had no idea what the fuck he was unleashing onto the world.
No. But again, that's just the power of like people like just that's the type of movie where it was driven by teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Teenagers went to go see this movie multiple times. Like it's like they were the driving force behind it.
That, and I think surprisingly, I think it got. I think Roger Ebert gave it a good review, and people weren't expecting that either. So you had the teenagers, plus you had people who only go see movies to get good reviews too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I think I think weird because that's the whole reason why now it's like.
I think Carpenter, for the most part, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, especially with They Live.
Definitely. No, it's a very good movie. I hope that we do get to see the future, the next installment.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I didn't know about that.
Hopefully it's because
Like,
hopefully it's because of the pandemic that it's not out, and the only reason why.
Yeah. But I wasn't looking forward to a remake.
No, me neither.
Because I see the potential for a remake because, of social media, of how it's happening. But for it to work, you need a really smart script because you couldn't just, like, we have documentaries about how social media is brainwashing people. Yeah. So you can't just make a movie that would repeat what's in the documentary and just say at the end, oh, yeah, well, the difference is aliens are doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going to be a good movie.
Well, no, exactly. Yeah. They Live. Good film. So, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
There's a movie you've never seen that I think you should watch.
Is there a movie that I haven't seen that I should? Okay. Well, what movie, pray tell, might that be?
That would be My Bloody Valentine, the original movie.
My Bloody Valentine, which I have seen the remake, which brought back 3D to the mainstream.
You told me that you think it brought back me. Like, I'm not
It did.
sure.
That's the first 3D movie, like to, since I'm gonna say, that was the first 3D movie in theaters since Freddy's Dead. I
Maybe, but I'm pretty sure 3D became popular again at the theaters because of Avatar.
well, no, it led to Avatar, but that's where 3D
You're right,
started.
Avatar. You're right. Avatar was popular because of
I
My Bloody
fuck you.
Valentine
I know you're
3D.
gonna say that.
No, I think you're right.
It's true. That's the way it
Yeah,
worked.
you're right. Yeah.
Freddy started it, and then back in the '80s, I mean, every fucking third part of a series was 3D.
Yeah.
So they had that whole craze, right? Amityville 3D, Jaws 3D, which is the first
And then they
movie.
would just drop the 3D for the fourth film.
Exactly.
Every single fucking franchise.
And they would drop the 3D for the home release.
Yeah, that's right.
Jaws 3, Amityville 3, Friday the 13th Part 3.
Well, did they release like 3D movies on VHS with a cheap
No,
red and no?
no. The earliest releases were still like blue red, and they were all
Mm-hmm.
on DVD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah, no, there's no. I do not know of a 3D movie that came out in the 80s that was still 3D on VHS.
So I don't think I've ever seen the end of Freddy's Dead in 3D.
I did. I saw it at theaters.
So I don't think it's ever been released in 3D at home. So I don't, because it's just the end of the fucking movie. That would make no sense.
Yeah, when he makes you like you put on the glasses and
Yeah.
she puts them
It
on.
looks real natural in the movie.
That's crazy. Huh? It's like put on these special glasses. Put on the glasses. It's just fitting for
That's
this.
what they needed. They needed Roddy Piper
Exactly.
in
Yelling at
Nightmare
her,
on Elm Street.
yelling at her to put on the glasses.
It really is too bad that Roddy Piper did not like he was in a bunch of movies after, but he never in anything as big as They Live.
No.
And it's too bad because he had the potential of being like at least in action movies at the very least.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
he's
for
that
sure.
fucking Steven Seagal that can't act worth shit. You could put fucking Roddy Piper in an action movie.
Oh, got a few more comments here. Stephen Budd says, I sadly have to agree with Kevin. He thinks 3D was My Bloody Valentine. Eternal Rogue says Jaws 3D.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Jaws 3D had the best non-moving shark scene ever, where the camera just moved closer. He's not
The
wrong.
shark's just floating.
He's not wrong. Hey, that was terrifying to me when I was a kid. I was crying in the theater.
I bet you were crying because the movie was so bad.
That's the first movie I ever saw at the theater. Was Jaws 3D.
Really?
Yeah.
I think mine was like E.T., I think.
I was 5 years old, I remember, and I hid my eyes most of the movie. Eternal Rogue says They Live could have David Keith's character come back. Off-screen deaths mean we don't know if they are dead. It's true. You could.
No.
You could have shot him in the foot. It's a bad shot. Well, shit, even... It doesn't really matter now anyway. With reboots and all that, you can have anybody come back.
Yeah, they just ignore what they want.
Yeah.
Well, anyone can come back, but Roddy Piper's not going to come back for the sequel.
Probably not.
Too soon.
Well, they could CG him.
No.
Not for the whole movie, but come on now. They did it with Leia. They can do it. Right? They did it with Harold Ramis. Why wouldn't you be able to do it? I'm not saying you want to. I'm just saying you could do it.
Yeah, you could, but you shouldn't.
No. But and at the same time, this is going to be They Live, right? It's not like they're going to want to dump a shit ton of money to bring back Roddy Piper for a CG scene. Like they did for Harold, because of Ghostbusters is a little more popular of a franchise.
Just a little bit.
I really enjoyed that movie, by the way. Afterlife. I felt like it was like coming home.
I liked it.
Gave me the feels.
I really liked it till like the third act, and then I was like, oh, they're just
Doing the same thing again.
repeating the same thing again.
Yeah.
I wish they would have had, they would have set up the original three coming back in a better way than just making one phone call.
Yeah. More working at it to get them to come back.
Although maybe the three actors were like, yeah, we'll do it.
If we have one scene.
We're just going to stand there and not do much. Yeah. And that's it.
I find the whole story touch. I mean, when they were interviewing Ramus's daughter, and she talked about how Bill had visited before he passed, and that's like that just pulls at your heartstrings. It just tugs to know that they made it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she said he had visited before he passed in order to make amends.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So yeah, no, exactly, because they hadn't spoken in years, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you look at their careers, like they were like always together, right? Like it's not just Ghostbusters, like Stripes, like it's all kinds of things. Like, anyways, it's sad that he had to go. I find I was talking about this to somebody else. I know we're off topic here, but while we're talking about it, it's weird now that like as we get older, all of our heroes growing up all seem to be passing away. Like it's crazy. Like, and because I'm not interested in any new heroes, right? Like I'm still with the old guys, and it's just I'm okay, except maybe Tom Holland. I can jump on board, but I find that like I'm seeing all these people pass away, especially and recently. Just been a bunch of them, right? Lately, Betty White, Meatloaf. Oh my God, what's his name from WKRP in Cincinnati? Head of the class. I know Steven would know this.
He couldn't be too much of a hero if you don't remember his fucking name.
Oh, I have bad memory problems.
I just remember him as Dr. Johnny Fever.
I'm married with kids.
I'm married with kids.
Fucking memory's gone. Howard Hessman. Thank you, Steven.
Right.
So, yeah. See, a lot of them are like, holy shit, like, this is going to continuously happen. All the time.
I like the fact that you're talking about like your heroes and stuff, and the first one you named was Betty White.
Betty White's amazing.
Yeah, I know you had a poster in your room.
Well, yeah, but that was like
I'm just kidding.
That was from OnlyFans.
No, Betty White was awesome.
Like you can watch Golden Girls today, and it's still fucking good. Like to this day, it is. It's still good.
Now we're talking about fucking Golden Girls.
I started watching Night Court again.
Night Court was good
because I love John Larroquette. I mean, and Harry Dean Anderson died not that long ago, a couple of years ago. Like, I think Marky Post, isn't she dead too?
I don't know. This is a really upbeat way of finishing the stream.
Finishing the live stream. I'm just saying that as fans and as people who consume this content, we should be grateful for the content that we have, the content that we have had, and anytime that people put out new content with old people, old actors in it, we should be happy that you're putting out this content, and we should be more encouraging of this content than the shitting on it without seeing it on social media, I guess. That's where I'm going with this.
Okay. I'll get on board with that, I think.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on They Live?
I think it was a great way for Carpenter to finish off the 80s with a movie that obviously meant a lot to him. What's funny is I think I read, so I was looking up stuff for the movie, and I saw that Roddy Piper had said that Carpenter wanted him to talk about what the movie was really about when he was doing interviews, and Piper said, "I was over here on a green card. I didn't want to piss anyone off."
From the English Empire.
Yeah, from the English Empire.
Nice. That sounds very Piperish.
Yeah. But it's funny, like most of the stuff, like you were talking about how like the obey thing is everywhere, and there's a lot of stuff from the movie that people recognize, and they've never seen the movie.
Yeah, exactly, and that speaks to how it's become like almost culture
Yeah.
in a sense.
And it's ridiculous that Carpenter had such a hard time. Like all those movies I named off from the 80s, they're all cult hits now, but that he had such a hard time during his career that a lot of his movies didn't make money.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if he makes royalties off them now, or if they belong to the studios, or
Oh, I don't know.
it would suck because then like all the money, all the big money has come since then, right? And then
Yeah. He must not own all the rights because like he's involved in the latest Halloween movies, but that's only because
well, he sold those rights. I'm pretty sure. Did he not?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Because didn't he sell those to Avi Arad?
Yeah. I think he was tired of them coming back to him like, "Hey, write another movie."
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even a fan of doing Halloween
Or no,
2.
not Avi Arad. Mustafa Akkad.
Mustafa Akkad.
That's the guy.
Avi Arad, that's Spider.
That's Spider-Man. Yes.
But I think he said when he wrote, did he? I don't know if he has sole writing credit on Halloween 2. I think I remember hearing an interview where he's like, I didn't know what the fuck to do for Halloween 2. I was like, let's make Laurie his fucking sister. I don't know. Fuck it.
Which is ignored today, and which is like, to me, I don't know if there's one thing I wouldn't ignore. That would probably be the thing, but
Well, there's something I thought they were going for in the first movie. Now we're off topic, but who cares? In the first Halloween movie, they didn't really touch upon in the second one. They could still do for the third. So if you watch like the last Halloween,
you're talking about
the 2018 one,
yeah.
where it ignores that Laurie's his sister. The only reason Michael ends up at her house at the end of the movie is because the doctor brings him there.
Yeah.
Other than that, Michael isn't really interested in Laurie. So I thought it would be cool at one point in the movie, Laurie would realize Michael doesn't give a shit
about her
whatsoever, and what that would do to her psychology because she spent her entire fucking life obsessing over it.
Yeah, sure.
And if you watch, and in the second movie, well, you don't see it because fucking Laurie's in the hospital the whole fucking movie. So who knows? So it could still happen in the third one. I don't know. But that's the only thing I thought they could have done that was interesting. But
well, I think she's going to have a bigger role in this third one because now her daughter was killed, right, in the second one. So
was she?
Yeah.
I need to watch
Remember
that.
She
again.
went inside and went upstairs to look out the window.
Right.
That's how it ends. So she's killed. So she's clearly Laurie's going to have something to say about that.
Yeah. I like the movie, but there's some dumb shit in the movie.
Yeah. I love that. No, go ahead.
I couldn't figure out why the fuck would the nurse from the original Halloween, why the fuck would she move to that town and start hanging around with the victims of the first movie?
Yeah, no, I know. I don't get that either. It's just to have some kind of lineage, but
it's funny.
I like that they had used the masks from like Halloween 3. That I really liked. I can love that. That's like so smart.
But what I find funny though is online there was like a shitload of people complaining about Halloween Kills, saying like, "Oh, this movie's awful," and all I kept thinking was, "Have you fucking seen all the other sequels?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is not even close to being the worst Halloween sequel.
Everything
like,
after Halloween 4
this is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, everything after Halloween 4 is shit, up to H2O.
Different levels of shit.
Yes, well, Halloween 5 is shit. Resurrection's shit.
I would rather watch 5 than Resurrection. That's what I mean by different levels of shit.
Yes, there's different levels of garbage. There's the top garbage, the seagulls will eat that. But the bottom garbage, the seagulls won't even eat that.
Like Resurrection, when they're doing the fucking live stream from fucking Michael Myers' house and Buster Rhymes kicks Michael's ass, and it's like, what's going on?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, that's stupid. Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah, I hated that. I think that's why I stopped. Like up in like I didn't have much. I like the fact that Laurie Strode came back in H2O, but I was like, in my head I was like, oh fuck, man, like just to see the other garbage that come out, I was very apprehensive about it, but it ended up being
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. What was funny about H2O is I find that if you take a look at the horror movies that were coming out or out around the time, you can tell that H2O was heavily influenced by the Scream
Oh
movies.
yes, for sure.
And it's weird because Scream was an homage to like Halloween and the other movies of the 80s, and now you have like a Halloween sequel that's being directly influenced by a movie that was an homage
Well, it's
to,
because
to fucking Halloween.
the people that made this
Yeah,
new Halloween are the people that grew up on Scream.
yeah.
So that's why they're like, it's just the influence. It's weird because then you're saying, like, in your head, you're like, okay, well, John Carpenter work here is being influenced by Wes Craven. Like, it should be the other way around.
Oh, and this month there's a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre coming out.
That's a series, right?
Nope, it's a
Is
movie.
it just a movie? It's on
Yep, direct to
direct
Netflix.
Netflix. I thought it was a series. Was it
Nope.
just a movie? Okay.
Yep, and it's a direct sequel to the first film.
I wish it were a direct sequel to Next Generation.
And they could get the cast again.
Oh, fuck, Matthew McConaughey. Get him back in there.
I was kind of excited for the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but they came out with a trailer, and in the trailer you see what's her name? The main character, the girl that survives the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
Her character is back. It's not the same actress because she passed away a few years ago, but her character is back, and in the trailer it looks like basically they're doing the Halloween 2018 storyline, but with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it looks like she survived and she's been obsessed with Leatherface this whole time. So right there I was like, shit, they screwed it up. And there's a part in the trailer where she calls him Leatherface.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever called Leatherface in the movie.
No.
In the original movie, they just call him Bubba.
Yeah. No, he's never called Leatherface.
And it's kind
But
of
I can
cringy.
remember. I don't think.
Oh, and there's a scene in the trailer where Leatherface, he's in a bus. Like he goes into a bus and he's got like a bunch of teenagers cornered and they all have their phones out. And I swear to God, one of the teenagers say, if you do anything, you're going to get canceled.
No, I don't like this.
Are you looking forward to watching it?
Holy fuck! Oh. It's just, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I guess.
And what's crazy, it's the 9th film. It's the 9th Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Oh, it's crazy. That too. That whole series went to shit too. After probably, fuck, I want to say the second one. The third one is super bad.
I find there's something to like. I know I'm liking bad movies, but I find there's something to like in the first 4 ones.
So you're including
like Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yes, but that's not
Next Generation.
For totally other
Jesus
reason.
Christ. It doesn't even make sense.
No.
Like he has a brace on his leg that's operated by remote controls. He has on his belt.
Yes,
and they're like TV remotes. It makes no fucking sense. Yeah. And with that said, I like the remake with Jessica Biel.
Yes.
And then it was weird. They made like a prequel to the remake after that. And then they made Texas Chainsaw 3D where the people who wrote the movie couldn't do math.
Yeah. See, that's where I think where it goes to the shitter.
Yeah. In Texas Chainsaw 3D, they tried to make it so right after the events of the first movie, the police raid the house and they kill everyone there except for a baby. And then the baby grows up and it's like Alexandra Dario or whatever her name is. So it's in the present and she's like in her late 20s, maybe. But for the math to work out, she would have to be in her 40s, I think.
Yeah. They just didn't care.
No, they didn't care at all.
It's like all a pump and dump. They just pump out the movies and just dump them on people. Pump and dump. All right, cool. Yeah, no, it's for anybody watching this. If you haven't seen They Live, you should see it. Actually, it's on Netflix right now, which
It
is
is.
cool.
I think it's on Canadian Netflix. I don't know if it's on U.S. Netflix.
Oh, really? Yeah. I always. Yeah, it might not be on U.S. Netflix. It's on Canadian for sure. It's actually under the little category that they made up there, movies under 90 minutes.
Is it?
Yeah, which I found kind of neat. That's where it actually
That's
popped up.
that's how lazy people are now.
Exactly.
That's like a genre of movies. Movies under 90 minutes.
Which is literally 99% of 80s movies. They were all short.
Now all movies are like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, for sure. Which, I mean, I don't mind the 90-minute movie.
No, neither do
If you
I.
can tell a good story in 90 minutes, I'd rather you do that than you stretch it out to 2.5 hours. And I don't get anything extra out of it. Like, Colonel Rowe just
So,
wrote, what stock would they live by? I think they would buy Progenity
Jesus
in
Christ.
order to live longer.
And I just checked.
Steiner math.
I think They Live isn't streaming on any service for free. You have to rent it.
Well, it's like that on Netflix. Technically, you're
Another
paying for it.
another good reason to have physical media.
Yes. Well, you can buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Or,
Got it on Blu-ray. I've been debating of getting it on 4K. Shout Factory started releasing movies on 4K now.
yeah, 4K TV.
Yep. Right there.
Oh, nice, nice.
I like that TV more than some members of my family.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I still have the CRTC TV
with the
with the fucking dial. Put it on UHF. Oh, cool. All right. So
okay.
So before we go, we were talking about Valentine's. That's how we got to this.
Oh yeah, so we should watch
So we want to
My Bloody
My Bloody
Valentine.
Valentine, the original one.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that on Valentine's Day week.
So Valentine's Day
Maybe
this year's on the 14th, right?
this year. It's always
I'm just shitting you. That's a Monday.
a Monday, so maybe that Thursday.
Sure. So that would be next Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. So
I don't know if you want.
what's that?
Don't know if you want to talk about more than one movie. I don't know if we'll be able to talk about as much about My Bloody Valentine as we did for They Live.
Well, maybe we'll throw in another one as a surprise.
Yeah.
Something else that has to do with love. Horrific love. Oh my god. Yeah. So My Bloody Valentine for sure. I'll watch that. I haven't seen it.
Filmed down in Nova Scotia.
I'm down in Nova Scotia. It's a good Canadian movie. A.
And anyone watching this should watch it.
Yeah, actually, that'd be cool. Like, if you're, I'll tweet that out too. You should watch the movie, and then we can talk. You can all join in, and we can all talk about it together. Next Thursday. Yeah.
And I have to check to see. Not now. I'll check later on to see who did the effects, because the effects in My Bloody Valentine are just as good as like Friday the 13th. Seriously, I would rank like this. Like My Bloody Valentine, the year it came out, is just as good as any other slasher movie that came out within those years.
Because it came out in 80. Is it 81?
81, I
I think
think.
it's 81. So it would be on par with Friday 13th, I guess.
Yeah, and there's some
Thompson
like they
Fury.
had to cut. So I told you to try to look for the unrated
Yes.
version, because they had to cut out some stuff to get an R rating.
Nice. So yes, I did find the uncut version at Walmart.
Cool. I I just bought. I haven't watched it yet. I bought. It's a new 4K transfer of the movie, and there's a unrated. Like I've seen the uncut version before, but when they put in the uncut parts, uh, the quality isn't as good as the rest of the movie.
Okay.
So it's still cool to see, but it kind of stuck out. And the one I just bought is supposed to be a new 4K transfer of the uncut version, I think. So I'm going to watch that for the first time.
Okay, so the end
this.
goal is for it not to look different when
Right.
you're watching it, so it's more
Yeah.
seamless that way. Interesting.
Yeah. And actually, I'll stop talking about it. We'll say the rest of the stuff next
All
time.
right, cool. All right, so we're gonna sign off. Thanks everybody for watching, as always. Join us next week, and we'll talk about My Bloody Valentine.
Is that next
1981.
week or the week after?
It will be next week because the week after, it's on Monday, Valentine's Day. Can't talk about it after Valentine's Day.
Why
I
not?
don't know. That just feels cheap. It kind of reminds me of a personal irk I have. It's receiving something that's Christmas related for Christmas. I hate.
I'm going to start sending you Christmas cards in January.
I hate it because what am I going to do with this? Put it in the box and wait till next year to look at it? Like, that's just one of my pet peeves.
All right, next week, I guess.
Next week, we'll talk about it. All right.
Okay.
So until next week, guys, take care. Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.